Extra work. You know what it is. I know what it is. Everyone knows what it. Wait, you're telling me you don't know what extra work is? Well, I guess it is a mode exclusive only to weekends that happens only once per season. It's Salmon Run, and it's objectively the worst weekend event in the game. Yeah, it's worse than even Splatfest, and that's saying something. Anyways, what is extra work and why does it suck? Extra work was first introduced in Splatoon 3 Fresh Season 2023, where players work in preset 5-wave shifts to compete who can gather the most golden eggs. What that means is, instead of the traditional 3 waves Salmon Run normally has, players will instead have to endure 5 entire waves. However, all 5 waves will always be the same every single time. With an asterisk. Let me explain. At the start of the shift, your team will start on a measly 60% hazard level, and as the game progresses, the hazard level increases depending on how well your team does throughout the shift. So if your team does the bare minimum, the hazard level will stay at 60%. However, the best of the best Salmon Run teams will be able to increase the hazard level to a whopping 300%. And obviously, a 300% hazard level wave is completely different compared to a 60% hazard level wave. So that's why there's an asterisk there. I would love to go into more detail, but this is an Extra Work Sucks video, not a guide video that's going to be completely null and void, unless the Splatoon devs bring this garbage mode back for Splatoon 4 and keep it the way it is today. Okay, you got the general gist of what Extra Work is. So why is this mode so bad? Well, I got 4 main factors why this may be the case. So sit down, grab a snack, get some water. It's time to dig deep to why Extra Work is trash. Factor 1. It's Salmon Run. Salmon Run in general isn't nearly as played or as popular as all the other multiplayer modes in the game, besides Table Turf. So, Extra Work is a part of a mode that's not played as much compared to all the rest of the multiplayer modes in the game. We're off to a great start. Factor 2. It's quote-unquote inaccessible. Extra Work only happens during a specific weekend once every season, which only lasts for roughly 3 months. That's just asking for a mode to not only have less activity from the player base, but also way too inaccessible for those who just so happen to be busy on that one weekend the event even happens in the first place. I haven't even talked about when Extra Work couldn't be played with any players who didn't have a full team available to them. But they fixed this in a later update, so it gets a pass. But like, for Big Run, the event gets announced by Deep Cut a week prior in-game. And when the event actually starts, Splatsville, Egopolis Plaza, and Egopolis Square all get decked out with Big Run decorations. Like, that's cool. It makes me want to play Big Run. Well, for Extra Work, it gets a quick deep cut announcement, and that's it. No other indication that the event's even happening in the first place. Like, sure, it's not some apocalyptic, world-ending event, but they could have done something to let the players know Extra Work is currently happening. Factor 3. It's boring. Remember when I said Extra Work consists of 5 preset waves that will always be the same every single shift? I bet some of you guys can already tell this gets repetitive real quick. And it definitely does get repetitive and boring, playing the same thing over and over again. And it doesn't help that the first wave is always a snooze fest because it's always only at 60% hazard level. Which, yes, even for beginners, this is just way too easy. Oh yeah, and every shift lasts for about 10 minutes if your team plays the whole thing through. Which may not sound too long at first, but that time adds up real quick. I don't even know how to fix this. If I were to change something to make this more bearable, it will just ruin the core identity of Extra Work in the first place. Factor 4. It's not even worth playing. Because of its repetitiveness, people already have a negative mindset over this mode. So that means the prize after participating in this event must be worthwhile, right? Well, what do you get out of playing this garbage mode in the first place? A tiny sticker and a badge. That's it. So the reward for going through repetitive gameplay that potentially mentally drains players isn't good. And you're not even going to get another badge if you already have the gold badge already. Yeah, this turned off a lot of players after they played Extra Work for the first time. Like, seriously, they couldn't give out scales, shell-out machine tokens, or even just a considerable amount of cash to make the effort at least kind of worth it. Oh yeah, and to add insult to injury, you know how for Splatfest and Big Runs, Deep Cut announces the results at the end of those respective events? Well, for Extra Work, Deep Cut doesn't do that. A bulletin board in Grisco does that. Like, bro, that's so lame. What a slap in the face. In conclusion, Eggstra Work has a lot of issues that just makes this weekend event not worth playing. By the time this video is uploaded, the 5th Eggstra Work event should be finished. And yes, Eggstra Work has already happened 5 times. So, what do you guys think about Eggstra Work? Am I right? Did I miss anything worth noting about? Or do you guys think Eggstra Work is an underrated masterpiece? I hope not. Regardless, put your thoughts down in the comments. And while you're down there, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All the support is very much appreciated. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.